Hello everyone, we're back on Industry Transporters today, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a bug report. I'm going to go through and film each individual bug that I see, and I do believe we have one already. Let's see, a station on the right here if it does actually reset itself. Okay, no, that's not a bug. But we'll go through and we'll showcase all the bugs. First bug that we're going to show off is the dual S-curve turn glitch. If a train tries to go a dual S-curve turn, it gets lost and it gets stuck, and it does this little end of line. We're back with another one here. This is a new feature that's just being added, so I don't expect it to work perfectly, but you're not supposed to be able to place stores next to each other, and this does work. But as soon as you try to place a store next to another one, you can never place a store again. Doesn't matter where you place it. You could be very far away from the store that's already placed, and that's a bad example because it worked. Huh. Well, still, maybe the range is just really high. So it seems like the range for that is just really high. So I didn't even know that. So indeed it's not broken, it's just the range between the stores is extremely high. Much higher than it should be. And it should also turn red. I should talk to Marcus, he did say he was going to fix that. It's just a UI thing. And here's the third one. When you're building and you have the highlights, when you're using the highlights, they can get stuck like this one over here. Depending on where you leave your cursor, does this really bad like that. Now this whole area is highlighted. There's a fourth bug I noticed, that when you're building rails, you can't build them directly next to a terminal, even though this terminal only takes up 2 spaces. I can't build a rail here. However, I can build a street. So the area is actually unoccupied, but I do believe it still thinks that there's a rail there, because I do believe that the small rail terminals just got changed to a 2x1 setup instead of a 3x1 or 3 wide. Instead of 3 wide, they're 2 wide now, so it's just a single rail instead of 2 rails for the smallest terminal. But once again, you cannot build a rail next to it. That's another thing I noticed. Here's another one. We're going to see this ship completely disregard the land here, and it's just going to go right through it. Ships don't pay attention to the water or the land whatsoever. Very sure you can build ships that go over land quite easy. As you can see here, it's not completely in there, and it's going to go right straight through. Another one is, and I think I talked to him today, he is fixing this, but I'll include it, since it is broken in this version. Doesn't matter if the day-night cycle switches on or off, the day-night cycle will always stay on. Here's another issue I found, is when you're zooming in and out of the mini-map, the scroll wheel is used for scrolling and zooming, and you probably want to disable the scrolling because you can't use both at the same time. It's perfectly fine to be able to just move with your mouse around. Here's an oldie but a goodie. You can see both of these planes are just spinning randomly. They can't find their target location, even though the airfields are directly right next to each other. They can't find out where to go. And another one here, this is an experimental feature that he's been working on. Signals is something new he's adding. But if you do indeed delete a track with signals on it, the signals are not removed. And signal remove tool doesn't work either, but when placing these stores it will delete. If you use concrete floor. Hello. If you use concrete floor, whatever. Yeah. It'll delete all the buildings and streets needed to build the structure. When you try to build a truck terminal, it will not remove any streets. It won't remove buildings either. Terminals should also remove streets and buildings. Just, this is an old bug. If you get to the edge of the map, you're stuck. The arrow keys won't move you. And the only way to get off is to use the mini-map. But if you scroll over there, you get stuck on the scrolling. I feel like I have a version of Industry Giant that I made that does the same thing. Yeah. Not exactly sure what caused this one, but this truck went off the road here. And I'm just going to sell it. And it looks like that seemed to have fixed it. That was after loading and saving and loading. Not exactly sure what caused that. Trucks are so messed up that I can't pinpoint where it's happening, but it happens all over the place. It's very hard to know what's breaking when, but you can deal with trucks by isolating the roads, but they'll repair the roads, so you gotta put down rails. It's just hard to do. So this isn't the end of the world, but if you scroll down to the bottom of the resource list and you go to a different industry type, it looks like there's nothing there, but you're really just at the bottom of the list. So yeah, you're just at the bottom of the list. All you have to do is scroll up, but it should just reset you to the top of the list every time you switch an industry type. When you're trying to look up how to make something, it's hard to see exactly what it takes. There's no way to resize this, and a lot of people won't know that you need to scroll this bottom one as well. It's a minor issue. I'm sure it'll be fixed when a more permanent solution is for this. It's made it. It is an issue. It's not really a bug or anything, but it's hard to know how storage works. You would think it would just automatically store things when you bring it to it, but you do actually have to add something to the storage, and it doesn't show you what it is storing. Without opening the menu, so it's a little hard to use. Here's an issue that always bugs me. When you're trying to find a product to transport, load, or whatever, it's very hard to do so. I think there should be a category, or maybe when you go through the categories, it highlights the products in green or something to show that those are available at that terminal. They're either being produced by a raw material source or they're being produced by a factory. So you can either pick up or drop off those resources there. That'll make it easier to sort through the available offerings. And then this little toggle menu, I don't know, just kind of makes it difficult. Honestly, I'm sure a different menu system for this is planned. This is temporary, but it's always... Here's something randomly I just found, which is pretty interesting. There's a truck, and it's just randomly flying through the sky. I don't know where it's going. It seems to be having quite the time. This is an old save I loaded up, and I've never seen anything quite like this. And there it goes. It just went into my screen. out the screen, it's gone. I can't zoom out any farther. It's off the map now. Oh, I can't zoom out farther. There it is. Seems to be spiraling out of control. I have no idea what caused this. It seems to be speeding up. And there it goes. It's gone. Here's another one that bothers me. If a train's destination is behind it, it doesn't turn around to go to the station before it. It just tries to go to the end of the line, and then it turns around. And then it will try to go to the station it's supposed to go to for the beginning. If I remember correctly, it won't even go there when it does actually get there, though. These lag spikes are ridiculous. Happen all the time. Yeah, I won't even go there when it... Maybe now. No. Oh, did it go? So it did actually go. So trains can only... Looks like trains can only enter terminals one way. Yeah. Here's another one that Marcus talked about, is once a terminal or a factory has been... once the name has been turned red, mark that as full or it's out of production. Even though he did say he fixed it, industries still... I know Marcus is preparing for multiplayer, and this is going to be a major issue that you're going to have to deal with multiplayer. Is someone's just going to come through and they're going to do that. And you're going to have nowhere to sell anything to. And you're going to be able to screw someone over for about $100,000. Anyway, thanks for watching. This list of bugs is getting shorter every time I do this. There's quite a few here, but they're less severe, and you know, I've been racking my mind as to what's wrong with this game, and you know, really, honestly, there's not much wrong with it at this point. I mean, there's some serious issues, but you know, overall, it's, you know, knocking out the bugs, and things are getting better. So hats off to Marcus Fick, Industry Transporters.